You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello and welcome to the Unstoppable Actors podcast. If you are brand new, as always, it is so exciting to have you here. I'm so glad you've found us. More than likely, you've probably stumbled across us on Spotify, as so many actors do. But either way, however you found us, I'm truly grateful that you're tuning in. And I hope this episode allows you to feel more confident, more assured in yourself with auditions, more connected to the character, and helps you flourish with your auditions. That's really what I want to happen for you. And if you're returning, thank you so much. Thank you so much for regularly tuning in to the episodes. It's always so good to have you here. I'd love to hear your thoughts on either this episode or a previous episode that you've listened to. And if you want to send your thoughts to me, you can email me, podcast@standbymethod.com. I will read out your thoughts on a future episode. How exciting. Whatever stage of your career you're at with your acting, you are going to be auditioning a hell of a lot more than you are cast and doing productions, because auditions are a big part of an acting career, aren't they? They're like job interviews, only they're not. They're not like a typical job interview, because it's not just as easy as, let's have a conversation with someone and sell myself in words. You're selling yourself through your talent, aren't you? We have to figure out how can we turn all of our auditions into successful auditions. And this leads me nicely into what success actually is, because it is very, very subjective. So the dictionary definition is an accomplishment of an aim or purpose. This gets us to answer, what is the accomplishment? What is the aim or purpose with my auditions? So I'm going to ask you now, what would make you feel accomplished with your auditions? Would it be getting recalled, getting to the next round? Would it be actually getting cast? Would it be developing your confidence with each one? Would it be getting good feedback? Because here's the thing, you will not get cast from every audition. We have to accept that. And when we accept that, we take the pressure off ourselves a little bit. And then we can get clearer on what success would be for us personally with our auditions. So if I share with you what success means to me, taking my acting coach hat off and putting my acting hat on, so Louise actress, for me personally, success for me at an audition is learning something from every audition that I go to that will help me improve for future auditions. That's my version of success. And obviously getting cast is the icing on the cake. But I've already accepted I'm not going to get cast from every single audition. So that takes some of the pressure off me. It doesn't allow for nerves to impede on my audition, because now I'm like, okay, if I get cast, icing on the cake, it's a bonus. But I want to make sure I'm learning something from every audition. And when I'm going in with that mindset, actually, I'm much better at auditions, because back in the day, in my early career, I used to think I had to get cast from every audition, and I used to put an insane amount of pressure on myself. And if I didn't get cast, I thought I was a rubbish actor. I thought there was something wrong with me. I thought I was doing things wrong. And all that did is just open up a can of worms for more mental tension, more physical nerves, and actually it disconnected me from the characters. And I just didn't do a good job. And I got stuck in a cycle. But as soon as I changed what my version of success was, I actually started getting recalled more, getting down to the final rounds, and getting cast more as well. So get clear, what is success for you with auditions? That's the first thing. And then the next step is we need to ensure that you know which exercises to use for each character, and also be disciplined enough to use them for your auditions. So here's how it works. Some characters you are going to feel an instant connection to. You'll just get them. You'll know the dilemmas, you'll know the pain, you'll know their joy, you'll know the journey that they're on. You will just get it on a visceral level. I remember being cast as Curly's wife in Of Mice and Men, and she was one of those characters. I just knew her. I knew her inside out. With characters like those, it's more about getting the lines down, doing your due diligence with the given circumstances, and then expressing what you know through their circumstances. So that's where you marinate your life experience with your imagination and the given circumstances to create a truly unique character. So with Curly's wife, I just instantly knew her. I just had to make sure I get the lines down and make sure I'm working to the given circumstances so the character doesn't become about me and my life. But yeah, just knew her. So you're going to get some of those characters where you do. You just know them, don't need much character preparation. And then there's going to be other characters where you feel so far removed from them. They might as well be in outer space. And you're like, oh my God, I just don't get it. I don't get it. I have nothing to draw upon. Their life is so different from mine. Now, these are the kind of characters that you're going to have to dig deeper with your method acting exercises. Because if you want to have a successful audition, however you've defined success for yourself, there's going to be a bit more work that's required of you with these kinds of characters. And if I think about this, I did a film, probably over 10 years ago, and I was playing a character who was wealthy. That alone I did not get. I've never been brought up in wealth, as in financial wealth, never been brought up in that. So I didn't understand it. She was very materialistic. I'm not like that. And so all of these things, I was like, wow, like she could have actually been in outer space and me here on planet Earth. And, because we just didn't connect. So I had to do a hell of a lot of digging. And then obviously there was the emotional journey she went on, which I had no understanding of either. So I had to do a lot of digging. And when you get presented with one of those characters where you're like, oof, so different from me in all aspects, you're going to have to do digging as well. And here's some questions that you can ask yourself. So you need to figure out, firstly, are you struggling to understand their reality? Or is it that you can't connect to the emotions? Like, is that the challenge? Is this where you need to dig deeper? Are you hyper aware of how you're saying the words or what to do with your hands? Now, that's nothing to do with character. That's to do with you and how you're expressing the character. But you do need to figure out as well if this is happening, because when you've got those characters where you just don't make an instant connection to them, you can start to become hyper aware of what you're doing and how you're saying the words and what you're doing with your hands. So ask yourself, is that what's happening? The other thing you want to ask yourself is, does it feel like the script has nothing to really hook into? While there are a lot of words that sound like they should be delivered naturally, but there's not an obvious character journey, or there's not an obvious emotion to hook into, or there's not an obvious character trait to hook into, they're usually the scripts that need more context. They need more of the given circumstances. Those, if I'm being brutally honest, those are the ones that I personally struggle with. Without the context, I find it hard to find something to hook into. So you've got to start figuring out. So this is the second part of being able to deliver successful auditions, is actually, what is the problem that's blocking the connection for me? And when you ask yourself those questions that I've just given to you, you'll start to figure out what the problem is. And when you know it, then that becomes the starting point for your audition preparation. Then you are much more likely to have a successful audition in whatever terms you've defined as success. So let's just recap. We're figuring out, what does success mean to me with auditions? How am I defining that? And then secondly, what am I struggling to connect with this piece? And then when you figured that out, that's when you draw upon the method acting exercise that you need to bridge that gap and to get you to connect. Now, if you have absolutely no idea where you're struggling to connect, you're struggling, but you don't know what specifically it is that you're struggling with, and you're not making a genuine connection because it feels a little bit off or it feels a bit forced, then this is when you need an outside eye. This is when you need a method acting coach to look at your work and tell you what it is that's missing. And that's what the audition zone is. The audition zone is the outside eye, and it's one of the many classes that are available to you inside the Method Actor Circle. So in this one, in the audition zone, you bring your upcoming audition pieces, you present them in the class, you get feedback on where you need to improve, on what you need to do to make it a standout audition, and you also get feedback on the bit that you're struggling to connect to and the specific exercise that you need to make that connection. And honestly, our students who are inside the Method Actor Circle and attending the audition zone classes live or watching them on the recordings, they have been finding them so useful, and it's been getting them cast. It's been helping them get cast in everything from independent films into theatre work, as well as producing brilliant auditions for agents. So I just want to share with you what Chloe says very quickly. She says, I like that I can watch myself back on the recordings and see the differences between how I think I act and how I really act. She says also, if I'm not able to join in person, it allows me to learn the exercises and perform them in my own time whilst watching the replay with the feedback that you give the others. And Chloe joins us from the Netherlands, so you don't have to be from the UK to come and join the Method Actor Circle. We've got actors in the US, all over Europe, all over the UK. I don't think we've got any from Australia just yet, but there's always time. And we've got some from Asia as well. So it's very, very exciting. So if you want to come and join the Method Actor Circle and get that feedback and get that outside eye on your audition pieces, just head to the link bit.ly/the Method Actor Circle, or just click the link underneath the episode. I hope this episode has really given you something to think about with your auditions so you can figure out how to have a successful audition the next time you get that request.
I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.